Oh, yeah. 1966, I was born. And little did the world know that what was birthed is a radical artist. I had the same birthday as Fred Gwynne. That's Herman Munster, Nikolai Tesla, and John Calvin, the great reformer. You combine Nikolai Tesla, Herman Munster, and John Calvin, you know what you get? Doug in exile. Welcome, everyone. I got news because there's despair in the Republican Party. So I'm here to wag a finger and say, we're happy patriots. We don't do that. Despair is a sin. And there's no place for it. That's why we're happy patriots. And I don't mean blind, la, 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 be a big dummy happy patriot. Like we just march into battle dumb and get mowed down. No, we are tactical. We are pointed. We are 100% MAGA on Trump's agenda. And we're going to get JD Vance to win. No despair. A patriot's the last man standing. That's what I have to say this morning. I've got a ton of news, guys. This is going to be a long show, so I hope you're comfortable. I hope you went pee. And all you guys are coming in the chat. Boom, boom, boom. I see you all. I love my audience. You guys know I comment on your comments more than almost any other channel. I don't know of another one that answers to more comments, likes, responses. I'm building a community and I want voters to help. We're going to drag JD Vance over the finish line to save the Republic. $2 super chat. Hooray. Love the stream. So I'm going to start with, first of all, Mamdani. He's being overplayed. He's the Democrats' only hope. And that tells you how pathetic they are. Mamdani is a tick. He's a nothing. And there's still a ton of patriots in New York just because they got swamped in an election, just because a bunch of commies and a bunch of dumb kids and the Democrat money came out and voted for him. Does that mean a territory is lost, guys? He's going to destroy New York. And the pushback, because we're in an amazing republic that allows you to vote every 4 years, the pushback is going to be ginormous. I'm going to show you the plan. Trump's plan to push back, fight, and win. So welcome. You guys came to the right place. I'm freaking on fire today. I woke up at 5:30. I started painting on the oil painting over there. It's a masterpiece, guys. It's the best artwork I've ever done in my life. I've been working on it for 6 months. I'll show it to you. It's going to take a while when it's done. Okay, here we go. Look, this is our first thing up. This is on Mamdani breaking. Billionaire Barry Sternlicht, chairperson of Starwood Capital Group. These are major investors in New York, major firms, major money. They know who's going to pay the tax hit that Mamdani is going to try and extort from them. Big business. Says his team is considering leaving New York City after Mamdani's win. This is every business in New York. Now, many of my patrons, even some of you have said it in the chat. You've said, Doug, I'm ready to move out. I'm in New York. I'm ready to move out. Where in Tennessee should I move to? I said, come to Franklin. But a patriot can still stay and fight. There's not an obligation to leave. Just because everyone's leaving doesn't mean you leave. A patriot is about being the last man standing. Guys, I'm going to show you some people that are in despair later in this video. I'm the last man standing. All of America can quit. All of America can cower and give up and go boo-hoo. I'm going to another country or I died. I will stand. Blood. We love our country with our blood. I'm going to make that point later. We're different. Americans are different. We've got it in our blood. We're family. This is our home. This is the last place on earth, guys. There's nowhere else to go. Elon Musk can go populate Mars, or we can go populate the moon. It's going to be a hellhole compared to America, because all they're going to do is just move the planet, move all the problems to another planet. This is the last stand. And as that bishop said yesterday in yesterday's video, the barbarians aren't at the gate. They're already inside the city walls. The enemy is within. And I'm not afraid of any other enemy. I'm not afraid of Gaza, not afraid of Russia, not afraid of China. I'm not afraid of any of them. I'm not afraid of terrorists. I'm afraid of the enemy within. Only one. America can only commit suicide is the only way that we die. Right? Everybody on board with that? If you haven't given a thumbs up yet, let's go. We got to push this show out to all the peasants. Get my people in here. You do a thumbs up and that just spreads it. You comment and it is go time. So welcome for those of you guys who got the live notification. You're watching live, and this will be reshown throughout the day. But I had so much news. I could package it all off, send it to Jose, my editor, hardest working man in showbiz, my editor, Jose. Jose is in another country, is all I'll say. He's a hardcore Christian. He is hardcore pro-Trump and MAGA. One of the best guys I know. So I am faithful to him. We pay him to edit my videos usually, but not this one. This one is live. Now we're gonna do an evisceration of Mamdani. But first I'm gonna do an evisceration of this clown. This is Barack Obama. You guys know I really despise elites. And he's the one that started, he was pre-Mamdani. He was the canary in the coal mine, the tip of the spear on communism in this country. Formalized communism. Listen to him congratulate Mamdani. But otherwise, I just want you to know something. I'm going to play this speech. You'll see how vacuous he is. This is an empty suit. He's not a guy who's read a lot of books. He's a guy that wants to sound like he's read a lot of books. Barack Obama. Sounds a little bad on this one.
Gail Spanberger win, and we have Zohran Mamdani win, and they are all part of a vision for the future.
Mamdani, the vision for the future. A terrorist, Muslim, communist. That is the Democrat future. Please encourage Doug to do live streams. Yeah, $5 super chat. That's encouragement. By giving to him super chats, support the Happy Patriots. You know what is even bigger than paying money? I'm all for the money, but even bigger than paying the money is copy the link to this show and send it to your friends and invite them in. More viewers. And thumbs up and leave a comment, and that pushes this show out. The more you comment, push this show out. Here's Obama. The future is Mamdani. Dude. He wishes. Communism never has a future, by the way. In fact, there's an old saying in Soviet Russia that says the future is certain. It's the past that keeps changing because they keep scrubbing their own history. That's an old Orwellian term.
Our job is to say that we want everybody engaged.
Oh, really? Everybody? That's a good one.
And we want to have a conversation about how to make sure that every person in this country is treated with dignity and respect and their ladders of opportunity, and that there's the possibility of community and
word salad.
That we're getting along, not in some cliched, phony way.
Oh, not in a cliched, phony way like shooting Charlie Kirk in the neck. That's how well we're getting along. We're getting along. Not in a cliched, phony way. This guy's an ass. Barack Obama really is. Look at the kids on the right. They have the exact same pose. Is that a man or a woman? You can switch them out. They have the exact same pose. They have the fig leaf crossed hands. They have the head tilted slightly sideways in awe of their Lord and Savior, Black Jesus, Barack Obama.
In a genuine, deep way where we recognize, yeah, we have differences, and yes, there are fights that are going to have to be fought, but that deep down,
yeah, with guns,
there is something core in us that we have in common.
We're all in a lot of debt. We all have a lot of debt for our upper division feminist algebra that we took in college. That's what we have in common.
That is extraordinary. And that America at its best leans in to this notion of e pluribus unum.
E pluribus unum. Yay, Latin. E pluribus unum. Out of many can come one, he's going to say. It's out of many one. It's a dictation. It's not can, it's is.
Out of many can come one.
Can't come one. I don't even know what e pluribus unum means.
Conversation that you need to have. That's the conversation that these guys are all about.
Okay, let's have a big conversation. Throw it to the man. What a evil imbecile. I'd be more afraid of him if he wasn't so stupid. Barack Obama really is done. He really is the past. And this is, I think he's the closest thing to normal that the Democrats even have to show. They don't have Fetterman out there with a microphone. By the way, that would be hilarious to see Fetterman do public speaking. Now, we're going to get to Mamdani first of all. His evil plan, it's all coming out now. So all this corruption is coming out. And the Republicans are responding to it going, holy cow, this guy is ridiculously evil. Here's Bill Ackman, a Jew and an ex-Democrat, big New York financial institution guy, California and New York. He says, this is bad. This is Jerry Dunleavy. Here's the New York City DSA anti-war. This is a DSA anti-war working group's international document, which they accidentally shared. It includes the DSA group's list of demands for the incoming Mamdani administration. So these are the radicals to the left of even Mamdani telling him what to do. Shockingly, basically, all the demands are anti-Israel. Look, these are the demands. This is their ongoing meeting. Number one, they want divest pension funds from Israel bonds and securities. Did Mamdani run on that? Divest from Israeli bonds and securities. Withdraw city funds from banks that lend money to Israel or do business in Israel. Now, why? Everyone goes like, Doug, don't go after Mamdani's Islamic faith. No, he is a radical anti-Semite Muslim jihadist. This is what they've always done. Divest Israel. Withdraw funds from banks. End city contracts with companies that do business with Israel. That's guilt by association. That is so anti-American. You do business with Israel? Well, how about we don't do business with you as a contractor, a city contractor? Give the city contracts to who? Guess what contract they're going to give it to? The Muslim contractor, the LGBTQ contractor, the communist contractor. By the way, to the 30% Jews that voted for Mamdani, voted for an anti-Semite, I got no comfort for you. You guys invited this in. Operate city-run grocery stores free from Israeli products. New York always has the halal and the kosher products. And they're saying remove those Israeli products. This is pardoned racism, guys. This is separate water fountains, one for blacks, one for whites. This is segregation. In 2025, by a Democrat party that claims they're not racist, this is racism. Investigate real estate agents hosting illegal sales of stolen lands in the West Bank. Now they're talking about real estate agents that are holding property in Israel. What do they do? Make them wear a yellow armband? Mamdani? Is that what you're about? Evict weapons manufacturers and transporters from the New York City Metro. Oh, just evict them. You're out. Your business is out. Remove nonprofit status from charities that raise funds for the IDF. What about nonprofit status from charities that raise funds for Muslim NGOs and USAID? Divest CUNY, C-U-N-Y, I don't know what that is, endowment, and reinstate wrongly fired professors. Dismantle Eric Adams' New York City Israel Economic Council. end NYPD training with the IDF or the IOF. I don't know if that's misspelled. End repression of demonstrators and the SRG. That is, you can't go after demonstrators now. The ones waving the Palestinian flag and putting spray painting swastikas all over New York schools right now. That happened the day after Mamdani was elected. Arrest Netanyahu and active IDF soldiers for war crimes in New York. They're going to arrest Netanyahu. This is where I got to tell my fellow patriots out there that are anti-Israel, because you watch too many conspiracy sites, too much Candace Owens, the cuckoo bird. Israel's a faithful ally. I'm not a dispensationalist. I'm not making a Zion. God gave us Zion, whatever. You can believe that. I'm fine with that. I stand by our allies. Israel's done nothing wrong. They're not a big deal. Anyone who's walking around saying my biggest problem in life right now is Israel, you have a screwed up life and you're weird. Israel's not the problem, guys. They're an ally. Anti-Semitism and insane racists like these Muslims in New York, Mamdani communists, that's a problem in our shores, and it's growing in New York. I'm going to show you again how Trump's going to shrink it. First, here's a super chat from my buddy, Kenny Bates. Kenneth Bates, $200 super chat. Holy cow. The elite want a world without borders. True. Filled with hate and violence. True. Ignore their words. Believe their anti-humanity actions. We're going to look at their actions. And their actions are, I'm just saying, is it accidental, this list? We said Mamdani, he's a terrorist. Is it accidental? This list? This is insane. And I hope they lose. I'm going to help them lose. Our nation's at stake. You don't get to set up a communist Muslim hellhole here in our country. We're not doing that. I got a super chat up here somewhere. Now we're going to move on. Someone give me a $50 present. That's very kind of you. There it is. This is PLROC, $50 super chat. Glad to see you back. Above 600,000 subs. God is good. Amen. Pray for us here in Africa. A lot is going on. Now, I have members of my church that are missionaries in Africa. And the Muslims are persecuting the church right now. The largest persecuted group in the world. Everyone's all pro-Israel, and they never want to talk about the Christians. Christians are the #1 group being persecuted around the world right now. You got to pray for the Christians in Africa. I was talking to Quentin last night, Q. He's back on YouTube. You know, he's got pastors, relatives in Niger. By the way, he said every time the Muslims attack him, the next day the churches are filled with Christians. Filled. You can't stop Christ. Good luck. Try it with the sword. We're going to wipe you out. And by the way, Muslims made in the image of God. They're made in the image of God. And I'm told to love our enemies. And Muslims are the enemy. So I'm not saying go full. We're not doing a jihad on them the way they do a jihad on us. This is how we fight back. This is the most exciting news. See these two guys? This is your next president and vice president. Rubio reportedly tells friends he's Team JD Vance for 2028. Now, this is the same day after Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's thinking of a presidential run, which is a huge mistake. If she splits MAGA, if it's Marjorie Taylor Greene versus JD Vance in the primary, or if she runs independent, remember, she will probably run independent and not get the Republican nomination. She'll go, oh, I'm a lunatic. I'm going to go independent. You split that MAGA vote. Welcome President Gavin Newsom. President Gavin Newsom and Vice President AOC. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm telling you right now, the Republican Party needs to unite around JD Vance. He's our only hope for the future. That's what Marco Rubio smells too. Marco Rubio, who is a profound patriot, good man. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is privately backing JD Vance as GOP's next presidential nominee, according to people close to him. Now, why is he doing it privately? Because you always want the presidential candidate gets to pick his vice president. The vice president doesn't pick the president. The president picks the vice president. So you'll never hear an official announcement of team, I don't think, of team JD Vance and Marco Rubio until JD Vance wins the nomination. And then, but Marco Rubio is making it clear, even though he's only polling 2%, Marco Rubio, he knows he's not going to do it on his own. But this is an incredible ticket. This is as close to the Trump administration as you're going to get from anyone else. Look at that. My members are here. Look, my members are gifting me stuff. If you see a little symbol there, those are my members in green. Memberships are open. I'm not offering anything super special, but there's a $10 and a $20 thing. If you just want to give it's a monthly donation. He's telling allies that JD is the front runner and that he'd support him if he runs. Some say Marco Rubio might even want to be vice president. Oh, you think? What else does he have going? Tell me right now in the chat below if you would vote for JD Vance. Are you on team JD? Trump is not running a third term. I know where you guys are going. Trump has already floated a Vance/Rubio ticket, calling them his most likely successors. The two insist they're friends, not rivals, though Rubio polling at 2% might help things stay friendly. JD leads among Trump 2024 voters in a new poll, while nearly a third still want Trump to run again. Fine, you're going to have to get over that because he's not. The closest thing to him running again is JD Vance. But after the GOP underperformed in the latest election, insiders warn no one has Trump's draw yet. Trump is not going to stab his own vice president in the back. He's not going to leave JD hanging. For now, the 2028 vibes are all bromance and backroom lunches, but give it time. No, I really believe in this team. I think they're thinking way ahead. JD Vance is buddies with Elon Musk. That's the wallet. Now, I waited, this is 20 minutes into the video, to show you guys what's at stake. This is a psycho video from James Carville that you are not going to believe. He says the quiet part out loud. This is what Democrats intend to do. He's going to say it out loud if they win, and he's predicting a win in 2028. Oh, let me get the sound up. We had some sound problems yesterday too. There we go.
Justice Kavanaugh, Justice Gorsuch.
Gorsuch, yeah, he's figuring out the Supreme Court still. Yes, it's Gorsuch.
He's forgetting one. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah, tell us.
The Democrat is going to be elected in 2028. You know that. I know that.
No, we don't know that, but let's give them that. Let's say, okay, pending that, what would the Democrats do?
It's going to be a Democratic House. It's going to be a Democratic Senate.
Democratic House and Senate. House, Senate, and presidency. What would you guys tell me? Tell me in the chat below before I play this clip. What do you think Carville says the Democrats are going to do if they get the presidency, the House, and the Senate? Lock in your answers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here goes.
The Democratic president is going to announce a special transition advisory committee on the reform of the Supreme Court, that we could have our third branch of government has lost the faith and trust of American people, and his president are going to do everything alone. He's going to appoint a blue ribbon, maybe Judge Ludick and the dean of the, just the usual fucking suspects, all right?
Oh, sorry about that, guy.
And they're going to recommend that the number of Supreme Court justices go from 9 to 13. That's going to happen, people.
It's going to happen, people. He sounds like a Republican warning people. He's a Democrat threatening you. Supreme Court's going to go from 9 to 13. That's enough for a Supreme Court to overturn anything any Supreme Court justice did for the last 200 years. Radicals on the Supreme Court. That's adding 4 Supreme Court justices. Probably what? Justice Mamdani, Justice Rachel Maddow, Justice Joy Reid. Can you imagine? That's the end. That is the end of the country. Now I almost said the F word just like James Carville. Forgive me, guys. Because this is what makes me angry. Rand Paul is complaining about tariffs, saying it's extra constitutional. You can't get on board the Trump train. You don't understand how late in the game we are. It is the 9th inning, buddy. Democrats get in. They're going to tariff your toupee off your head. Same with Mike Johnson and specifically Thune. It's in Thune's power. Reverse the filibuster. You're going to say, we're going to hold on to the filibuster. Democrats are going to pack the Supreme Court. They're not just going to reverse the filibuster. They're going to throw you in prison if you voted against it. If you're a Republican, we're all going to jail, guys. That's something Steve Bannon said yesterday. If Trump loses, if a Democrat wins this next year in the Senate, if they take the House and the Senate, we're all going to jail. Certainly Trump is. All of us. God bless you, Doug. God bless you too. I love my blessings out there. Neighbor Bunny. I fully agree, Doug. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, needs to back down. Fact. She needs to stop opposing the will of the people by opposing Trump. Period. Full stop. She's in danger too, endangering all of our lives. I agree. She thinks it's time to push division. Marjorie Taylor Greene, bad tactic. Come on, girl. I'm a big fan. You got to turn this around. You're way out in the wilderness. She's going on The View. She's harder on Mike Johnson than she is on Mamdani. Deb. Scam Donnie. I like that name. I call him Damn Mommy. With apologies. Scam Donnie stated that he is ceasing production in New York City. Can you explain what that means? In my mind, this is dangerous people for X who own buildings who will be having to give to government. If you're in business and you own a building in that area of New York, you're in trouble. More James Carville. But guys, he's proud of it. He's public. Did you hear that? They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They can change any law in the land. They can change the DNA of America, which is what? What is the DNA of America? The Constitution. They can change the Constitution, ratify amendments, make anything they want, all their weird anti-free speech. Your guns are gone. Your guns are grabbed. Your guns are gone and grabbed. And you go, fine, I got my guns. They'll go after ammo. You won't be able to find ammo. It'll be illegal. You'll have to buy it from vendors, Democrat government vendors. And they'll reduce the pack. They'll reduce the ballistics so that it can't even go through a piece of cardboard. They can do anything they want if they pack the Supreme Court. And James Carville has said they're going to win and they're going to do it. And that's why you got to overturn the filibuster. That's why you got to approve Trump's tariffs. That's why you don't start poking at Trump's ankles about Israel. Marjorie, get on the team and get on Team Vance.
That's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
They're going to win. They're going to do some blue ribbon panel of distinguished jurists.
Barack Obama, the professor in chief, distinguished jurists.
And they are going to recommend 13 and a Democratic Senate and House is going to pass it. And the Democratic president is going to sign it because
they're going to be 100% united because they don't have Rand Paul and Thomas Massie. Anti-American jerks. They don't have an enemy within their own party not supporting MAGA. Democrats don't have that. They're 100% united. They're going to run all this radical stuff through. And we can't get Adam Schiff arrested when he's already been proven guilty.
To have to do an intervention so we can have a Supreme Court that the American people trust again. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And I would bet a lot of money that that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
A lot of money. I would make that bet, by the way. I have some money I could bet. I don't give up hope, guys. I'm not scared. I'm not here to scare you either. Do not be scared. That's why I opened this show on We Do Not Despair. We're Happy Patriots. It is time to fight. Trump terrifies Mamdani. Trump terrifies this guy so much. He's coming out in public and saying we have to pack the Supreme Court. I'll tell you another thing. James Carville, who's one of the top strategists there is on the Democrat Party, he knows what the golden goose is. He told you what the goal is. The real magic bullet that the Democrats can't get around is the Supreme Court. You think John Roberts is bad? I will never complain about John Roberts again. How do you like Chief Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson? How do you like Chief Justice Sotomayor? Chief Justice Kagan? You're going to rip on John Roberts? We're lucky we only have milquetoast imbecile John Roberts. I'm thankful. Ooh, new member, Melinda Smith. Thank you. New member, welcome. Melinda Smith. Got a new member. Our memberships are like family. They have my back. That is terrifying. Carville spilled the beans. And that's loathsome. We got to, guys, you got to play this clip, this episode to your friends, to your Democrat friends. Say, I know what you're doing. We got the plan from Carville. Raskin has said it too. They gonna do it. You think AOC, she's a radical? You don't think you think she'd pull back and go, guys, look, we have to be reasonable. We're Democrats. Anyone who's for stealing children from their parents and mutilating their genitals does not give a flying rip about the number of people on the Supreme Court. By the way, preemptively, Trump should, if Republicans were smart, who's with me? If Republicans were smart, we'd pack the Supreme Court now with 45 conservative judges. I think we need to pack the Supreme Court to 45 people. Name them in the comments below. Name them. I used to make a joke about this and say Margie Taylor Greene. I would not put her on the Supreme Court now that I know where she stands with Trump. I know she's not hard against him. Still love her. You don't get to be on my Supreme Court. You don't get to. Erica Kirk. She'd look good on the court. Erica Court, Megyn Kelly would be incredible. Right? Victor Davis Hanson, Supreme Court. Pack it. Pack that court out now, preemptively, now that James Carville gave you their plan. Or you don't have a country. You're not going to have a country. Country all gone. It's JD Vance, guys. JD Vance. The enemies are inside the gate. And Trump's practically a lame duck because the Republicans in the House and Senate are divided and the Democrats are united. And it's not Mike. Do not rip on Mike Johnson. It's not Mike Johnson's fault. He has a 4-person, 5-person majority. It's not enough to do jack. He can't even get the government opened with a 60-person supermajority because the Democrats are lunatics. And I'm going to show you later in this episode. This is a giant episode, guys. I'm showing you later in this episode. They're not going to they don't have a reason to open the government back up. The Democrats don't. Here's breaking. Vivek Ramaswamy projected to lose the Ohio gubernatorial race, according to Hart Research polling data. I'm putting this out there for the Vivek Ramaswamy fans, who I've always called Vivek Ramaswampy. He can't even, if he can't win Ohio, you are not, you know what I mean? A buddy of mine, I won't say his name, a buddy of mine told me yesterday, he thought Vivek should run for president. That would be his pick. Vivek? No. Gone. Where's he been for 4 years? What's he done? Vivek, bye-bye. You're done. Who will win? Oh, now it's time for the fight. I introduced this gal to many of you way before she was anything. This Elise Stefanik. Breaking Elise Stefanik. Officially, you heard it first time, breaking here, files to run for New York governor, calling Hochul the worst governor in America. This is Trump Strikes Back. This is one of Trump's top girls too. She was in the running for vice president, you know, Elise Stefanik. And all the anti-Semite guys in my audience are going, ugh, she's a Jew. Yeah, get used to it. Now, is she moving out of New York? Or is she leaning in with Thor's hammer to start beating some heads? I love Elise Stefanik. She has not given up the ground of New York. How about I run for governor and win? That's what a patriot does, guys. She's not giving up. She's not leaving the state. Does she look scared? Little tiny girl, little Jewish girl. And she goes, guess what? How about I beat the H out of you with a hammer when I run for governor and win? That's what we want. It's time to fight and get ground back. New York is not cooked and done. It may be temporarily, it has bad leadership. These bad ideas still need to work out in public. People, like dogs, need to have their face put down on the poo-poo of their own votes. When they vote for Mamdani, you have to take the Democrat's face and put it down in the poo-poo. You go, look what you did on the carpet in our house. And the dog, you know, they're resisting. No, and you grind it in the poo-poo. No, you did this on the carpet in our own house. You voted for Mamdani. So they have to get a little bit of punishment before they can wake up. And I'm all for it. Grind that nose in there hard. Put that nose in the poo-poo, guys. Elise Stefanik is going to, I believe she's going to do very well. And she's confident. Will Mitch McConnell support her? You turtle? I guess he's retiring. Will he rub two molecules together of support for this girl and throw some money at her? Will you, by the way, in my audience? I'll put together when her campaign gets together, I will put a donation link in and we will give money to her. We're going to support her campaign. It's like betting. For my Patriots, here's Steve Deese. This is William Wolf, a Christian who I respect a lot. He says, let's be clear. If you're attacking JD Vance right now, you're not on the team. This is to the people at Commentary Magazine and the anti-heritage, anti-Tucker Carlson people. These are the Beltway neocon Republicans that are angry that Tucker Carlson put a radical pro-Hitler weirdo, Nick Fuentes, he's a comedian, basically, on their show. So then all the people go after JD Vance for being friends with Tucker. This applies to actors on both sides of the recent blow-up. We're going to go into actors and social media influencers, okay? Of course, William Wolf is correct again. I'm going to say something publicly for the first time now that I've said privately several times before. With Charlie Kirk gone, sadly gone. JD Vance may be the last man standing who can stop the next generation of young men from collectively descending into the abyss of despair. Let that sink in. Let that sentence sink in. JD Vance will lead the youth, the next generation, guys, and we're in good hands. It's the boomers. It's the Democrat, leftist, Clinton hippies that are screwing this world into the ground. It's not the youth. The youth are fully, there was a revival, is still going behind Charlie Kirk. They need leadership. Who's going to lead them? It is JD Vance and only JD Vance is the last man standing. Erica Kirk, who is Charlie Kirk's wife, she cannot debate. Okay, she's not that kind of a public figure. She can't do it. Tucker Carlson, he's a fellow entertainer like me. It's not going to be Tucker leading the youth. It's not going to be a blogger. So if you're undermining JD Vance at this point, while also concerned about your young men, and you should be, you're cutting off your nose despite your face. There will be a time to compete on the 2028 primary campaign trail. This isn't it. People are talking about both neocons in the center and Marjorie Taylor Greene to the right, talking about primarying JD Vance. Bad tactics. You're going to split. They're going to do opposition research on JD Vance too. Opposition research. They're going to release all this stuff about his wife Uma being a Hindu, and they're going to try and terrify you. And you know, but I'm always talking about tactics, my people. This is good. 6 cents. Carville is like that crazy homeless man you pass every day on the corner. Throw a nickel in his hat, in his LSU hat. There you go. I'm a boomer. Michael, I know every time I say something about boomers, all the boomers go, Doug, I'm a boomer. You can't say that. No, I know there's patriots, guys, in the boomers. Never even considered voting for a Democrat. Good man. Of course, now if you vote for a Democrat, you're voting for a commie. It's even worse. Before it was never vote for a Democrat. And it used to mean just don't vote for a weird, soft, woke, bizarre leftist. Now it means don't vote for a communist. Now, this one is cool. This one, we're going to get, because you're here live with me, and I enjoy spending time with you guys. That's not patronizing or puffing you. It really is honest. I talked to my beloved Miss Tenapel about you guys. I talked to her about you just like you're real people. And anyways, this is a warning. There are grifters among us on the right. This is Todd Starnes, mega big businesses. Mega big business, and a lot of grifters know this, that's why so many of these so-called conservative influencers out there are trying to manufacture chaos. So I'm going to give you guys the first warning sign on what a grifter is. And you guys have heard me say this forever. I always tell you guys, do not fear. The earth is not falling apart. Keep your head. I'm not going to point to this weird, dark alien conspiracy of lizard aliens and the Jews and secret Epstein files to terrify you. That's manufacturing chaos. I'm trying to hold it all together. I'm trying to unite MAGA so we make one giant pointed spear and poke it right at the Democrat, stick it in their gut, twist it, hold them up on the petard till gravity pulls them down the pole. That's what I'm trying to do. So first thing you'll know that I'm grifting you is if I try to manufacture chaos. If I'm trying to build up secret conspiracies, guys, I'm going to get clicks if I do this. Guys, I'm going to click that if I tell you God's telling me this, and I have this amazing vision of this secret document no one's ever shown before. That's what a grifter does. It's all drama. It's all tabloid. That's not what we do. And you guys who've been watching me for 4 years, you know. I'm in it to win the country. Conservative influence out there are trying to manufacture chaos. If you guys are feeling despair and you're terrified because you watch the wrong shows, well, you decide what you put in your head. They care more about their platforms, their channels, than they do the nation. And what do you call that? They care more about their clicks and their advertising revenue and their memberships and their paid side website and the amount of fear they can get you to click back in to see what, nuclear secret thing, illegals, this or that or whatever. I never present the news to terrify you. I don't want you scared. I want you because I don't want the troops to go into battle terrified, all nervous, quick swing at that, quick hit that, run ahead and just start attacking. Ah! That's not what we're doing. We're ice cold when trouble comes. That's my dad. Like Dad did. My dad would get in bar fights, man. Some guy'd come up and start talking sideways to him. My dad was ice cold because he didn't care if he got his ass kicked. He'd just go, I'm coming at you. This is science. This is, you know what I mean? We're doing science. New member, Ralph Aguas. Welcome. They care more about their platform than they do the nation. These people don't care about God or country. You guys have heard me preach my Lord Jesus Christ, and I've only told you to repent, which is the only sign of someone who is obedient to Jesus Christ. If they're not telling you to repent, they're not repeating Christ's number one message for the masses. Number one message to the masses. Number one, repent. A lot of other talent out there telling you how King Jesus, I'm pro-Christ. They'll never tell you to repent. They're not saying the same things that Jesus said. I'm his servant. And I care about God. And I care about country because I care about our home. America is our home. America is our living room. Another member, NPC girl, my people. All they care about is the almighty dollar. On the right, in MAGA, grifting channels. He says, I worked at Fox News for 15 years during my time there. I got a front row view of what was about to happen to the movement, the right-wing movement. One second floor executive told me, this is at Fox News, that only 1%, in all caps, 1% of the people working at Fox were actually conservatives. Well, there you go. It's just a business. And who do they make money off of? You and me. How do all of us make money? By the ads shown between our news. That's how we get paid. And the more eyeballs you get to see the ad, the more you get paid. And also I do one chapter ad read a day. That is out of 2 hours of content, I do one 1-minute read. Out of 100 minutes, I do one 1-minute read, and it pays all my bills. One read. We're going to do I'm just telling you guys how it works. I like full transparency. I like you guys to know. But Fox, they're not conservatives. And I turn down millions and millions of dollars of ad reads a year. I could read ads. I could do 3 ads during this show and every show and just make millions and millions. Guys, if I was in it for the money, I'm pretty bad at it. In fact, my guys that counsel me on this channel, they talk to me about things I could do to help improve it. And they just go, Doug, you are turning down so much money. And they say, I've never met an influencer like you. Usually we roll the dollars out and they jump in and go, yeah, how many ads? How can I do that? Prepper food and catheters and herb supplement. So, I know what I'm doing with this channel. I'd say the percentages is even lower with the grifters who are polluting social media streams with their fake outrage. Guys, are they making you angry? Is a channel making you angry? You guys see me goof around. I sing to you. I have fun. Am I making you angry? Because that's what they think their job is. That's where the money is. That's where the clicks are. It's a shame that there are so many trying to destroy the movement that President Trump built. It's a shame. I'm only here to put Trump's movement on steroids. And I'm not going to name names on those other channels, but I'll let you figure it out. Now, this is an incredible story. This is on Why We Don't Quit. I'm going to show you this. This is a clip. I don't often show you guys the UK. This is a British veteran breaking down on live TV about what happened to his country, Britain. World War II veteran remembering his comrades. This is one of the last living World War II veterans. I thank him for his service, but I'm going to disagree. This makes me cry. The rows and rows of tombstones. The sacrifice was not worth what the country is now. Yeah, you guys are saying it too. This is so sad. Deb Longo. This is so sad. You know, this makes me think a lot because my son is going into the Marines. He's a poolie right now. He's praying he can pass, you know. And this man is a greater man than me. He served. He's a patriot. He served. However, I disagree with him about it not being worth it. I send my son, just like God sends his son to save the world. I send my son on a mission, and you don't know if you're going to win or not. You don't know if everything's going to turn out hunky-dory before the mission. Before you go, when this man, Alec Began, went, he was probably 17 years old. Some of them lied about their age, got in as young as 15 years old. The youngest person to serve in World War II, I believe, was 12 and a half years old in the Navy. Lied about their age to get in. And they watched 17-year-olds die. Kids. They didn't get to experience a life. And this guy says it's not worth it. Now, if that's true, we're going to put on our logic hands, guys. Put on your logic hat. If it's true that because the world is screwed up, because America is screwed up, we need to repent. Britain, England, I got many people in my audience watching from London, even London. If London's screwed up, Britain, Mexico's screwed up, and you're telling me that all those 17-year-olds that died in World War II, say on Normandy Beach, for example, but really all around the world, you're telling me that every one of them, that using logic, every single person who has ever died in a war, it was for nothing. It wasn't worth it. It was wasted because of how we turned out today. That's logic. That's what he's saying. That's where I disagree. I disagree that because we're all effed up today, non-repentant, LGBTQ, people marrying dogs, people mutilating kids, trafficking children. It is not true that it means every patriot that has died to get us here, it was not worth it. You know what? I'm going back to my dad who got in that bar fight. He got his ass kicked once or twice, maybe only once in his over 50 bar fights he got in. But the reason why you get up to fight, and even if you lose, he didn't regret getting up to fight. That's why we fight. So on New York, Elise Stefanik, she's getting up to fight. Trump, he did not give up. He's getting up to fight. JD Vance is getting up to fight. And all those soldiers that died, I want them to know it was worth it. I wouldn't be here with free speech if greater men than me did not die on a battlefield in this country and around the world. I would not have free speech. I would not be allowed to paint that painting. New member, 3 Energizer Bunny. I would not have the freedoms. And, you know, if they gave up at the Revolutionary War, this guy's saying that because we're screwed up today, that the lives that got ground up in the Revolutionary War that gave us this country weren't worth it. Trump wouldn't be president. My kids wouldn't be here. My wife wouldn't be here. I wouldn't get to make art and TV shows. You know? Now I'm gonna talk back to this guy, Joe and Walsh, 2019. I'm not picking on you. You literally have no free speech on YouTube. Man, dude, I'm gonna give you some logic right now. You are so wrong. I worked in Hollywood for 30 years, 20 years on Nickelodeon. They would never let me do a show and talk like this on the worlds on Nickelodeon. I did video games, broadcast TV. No one ever gave me a worldwide platform. YouTube did. I say more, I can preach the gospel on YouTube. I couldn't preach the gospel in my public school. YouTube is the largest free speech platform in the world. I'm not saying they don't censor people. I'm not saying they don't hunt you for saying certain things. But it's not true to say you have literally no free speech on YouTube. This is the largest platform. This is a miracle. To me, I was in mass media my whole life. In 8th grade, I was a little cartoonist. Just go, I hope I can work for Disney Studios one day. Disney would never let me say what I say on this channel. They'd never let me say, die for your country, present you the gospel. Trump is great. Disney would never let me say that, even sitting in my cubicle. And that was my dream. I go, I hope I can trick anyone into letting me have a TV show someday. Then I got TV shows and I'm like, this is crap. Hollywood's a bunch of pedophiles. Hollywood are monsters. New member, Aaron Worley. My members are coming in. Join me, guys. So this man, I really feel for him. I would love to talk to him and I would hold his hand and say, sir, it was not for nothing, those tombstones, because it's like gambling. You're not putting a quarter into a slot machine because you know 100% to win. You put your quarter in the slot machine and you give your life on a battleground for the chance, the opportunity that the future can win. It's the chance that we fight for our country, guys. That's what Trump is doing. Our future generations count on it. I'm even talking about single people that don't have kids. I'm not just talking about my kids. Future human beings, the youth, are a bunch of old people going to say, it wasn't worth it, everybody give up, it's done? No, it is time to fight. It's like it's day one of the birth of the country. Declaration of Independence, 1776, or was it 1787? You start over. You have to refresh it every year or you will lose it. And we've sat on our boomer fat cat butts for 50 years. In a way, the prosperity that came after World War II was terrible for America. We just got money. and free time. And it wasn't good for us. We need a little more hunger, a little more fight. We need a Mamdani to win every once in a while, to wake us up and go, by the way, evil's still here. Evil's still here. Keep fighting. Muslims in charge of London. You know, it's out of respect for this man and his fellow soldiers that ground themselves up. What a shame. What a shame that we have soldiers going, it wasn't worth it. We want to live in a world, remember at the end of Saving Private Ryan, where when Private Ryan grows up and he's old and he goes to his wife and he says, tell me, he demands of her, he says, you tell me I've been a good man. Tell me I've been a good man. Because the Tom Hanks character died in rescuing him. If you haven't seen Saving Private Ryan, it's one of the greatest movies ever made, but he just wants to know that it was worth it. Was I a good man? Was I good? That's what we should be asking ourselves today. Patriots, was I good? Was I good enough for that guy's sacrifice? Did I do good? Because you gave everything. And I ate TV dinners and watched cartoons most of my life. Did I give you a good return? That's what I'm saying. Okay, we're going to get back to the filibuster here. It's time for some comedy, guys. And when I need some comedy, I bring up Raskin. Short clip.
One of the things that he has been talking about for the last couple of days more intensely is getting rid of the filibuster. That's actually something that you wanted to do when Joe Biden was president and things weren't getting through the Senate.
Look,
is that an area where you agree with him?
We don't need a procedural fix at this point.
So you wanted the filibuster to be ended when Biden was president, but now, no.
You know, I'm not in the Senate, so I've got no say in that.
Dana Bash is beating the crap out of him. Can you see that? So when Biden was in office, you wanted the filibuster, and now, no, not so much. Well, I have no opinion on it now. Okay. Here's Caroline Leavitt. This is what we're up against. Newsbusters. New study. 87% of government shutdown coverage on ABC, CBS, and NBC favored Democrats. This isn't journalism, it's propaganda. So the shutdown, they blamed Republicans, just like they always do. Here's the greedy, look at this, I love this picture of Schumer. Look at this guy. He looks like, I'm not going to get into trouble, but he looks like a stereotype. This is something people draw. Alert, Senate Democrats are headed toward keeping their government shutdown holdout going, multiple sources tell Axios. Because you see, this is another comment on that study, 87% of government shutdown coverage on ABC, CBS and NBC favored Democrats. This is why the Democrats will keep the shutdown going. There's no downside for them. They can stop the Trump agenda on its tracks for as long as they like. They don't care if planes crash and people die and federal workers are evicted from their homes. They will just blame Republicans and they'll get away with it too. Because the media lies and Democrat voters are lemmings. It's not the Democrats I care about. They're lost. They're communists. It's not the Democrat voters. They're gone. It's the Republicans in the middle. We got to hold tight. Who's staying with me? Richard Design Junkie, $5. Once again, evil is as rotting meat before the maggots of justice. He's quoting my character, Peter Puppy from Earthworm Jim. That is a true statement. Once again, evil is as rotting meat before the maggots of justice. I love when my fans quote my own work before the right. And they are. Evil's just, Democrats are rotting meat before the maggots of justice. Here's Rand Paul. Wrong takes only, Rand. Wrong takes only. This is so wrong.
No,
if you guys watched my video yesterday on the Supreme Court with Ketanji Brown Jackson on the cover, you guys are already smarter than Rand Paul. if you watched it.
Not a fan of tariffs.
You're not
Do you
a
want
fan.
to see them struck down by the Supreme Court?
I want to see the Constitution have meaning. And the Constitution said that taxes originate in the House. Tariffs are a tax, and anybody who tries to say tariffs are not a tax, just not serious people. Our founding fathers wanted.
You're wrong. There is a difference between a tariff tax and a tax. So he's making the case the president, the executive branch, cannot tax as it's enumerated. That the Congress is the purse strings. They decide if you can tax. There's a key note if you listen to the Supreme Court argument yesterday, which we played the actual clip, might have been the day before yesterday on the Ketanji Brown Jackson video. Did you guys hear it? The difference is it's not a tax on the American people. It's not a direct tax on the American people to put a tariff on another country. You can raise a tariff on another country. The Constitution is made to protect the people from a president raising a tax on the people. And they argued that on the Supreme Court. The Trump lawyers argued it. Sawyer. But why didn't Rand Paul listen? Why is he fighting Trump's tariffs, pretending to be constitutional? And you know what? I hate to say it, but Rand Paul is smart. And he knows the argument, and he's not saying it here. Because now I'm saying he's dishonest.
The taxes to start in the House because the House was elected every 2 years. They're the closest to the people, but they were very, very specific. We fought the revolution over taxation without representation.
Taxing the people without representation, not taxing other countries, taxing the people. It's being argued before the Supreme Court right now. Now, we're going to find out if Trump wins or not. I mean, we could be very wrong. But the Supreme Court's going to decide.
A president cannot levy taxes without the approval of Congress.
Against the people.
I think the Supreme Court's going to strike this down.
That's entirely possible, but I really doubt it. I'm crossing my fingers. John Roberts. Come on.
And it's not for any personal vendetta against the president. I like the president. I wish him and our country success. But we have.
You know what? And I don't care if you like him or not. I'd rather you hate him, but end the filibuster. I'd rather you hate him, but vote for the big, beautiful bill. I don't care if you like him. I don't care if you like him. I don't care if I like him. Get on board. Are you with the people or not? Are you going to save the country or not? He's for overturning the tariffs. You know how much money we'd have to give back to other countries if we overturn the tariffs with how much income we've made on tariffs? And the Supreme Court overturns that. That's why I believe John Roberts doesn't have the balls to overturn it, because he's going to create a fiscal meltdown at the markets and at the intellectual level, at the international level, like you can't imagine. And I say, if you decide to do that, Roberts, good luck. You're going to deserve all the ire of the people, because you're going to create a disaster. The stock market will absolutely plunge.
To do things in an orderly constitutional manner, or it can lead to chaos. Right now, the farm.
You know what? Your country's about to become a mosque, you imbecile. Get your head in the game, Rand. Big fan of Rand. I like my radical independents. I don't like them when they go against Trump. Last article of the day, guys, of this video. I've got 2 more videos to do today. The Hill Appeals Panel revives path to Trump, dismissing the criminal conviction. This is the conviction in New York. Alvin Bragg with the Stormy Daniels case. This is good news for Trump. There's a tiny window for him here. A path to dismissing President Trump's hush money criminal conviction was reopened Thursday. Well, that's yesterday, after an appeals panel revived his bid to move the case to federal court. Trump needs to get this out of New York now. He needs to get out of that. And they're kind of admitting, you'll see, these Obama judges who did not let Trump move this to federal court, because Trump's trying to get this up to the Supreme Court. Trump wants to move the case out of New York State court so he can try to convince a federal judge that the Supreme Court's presidential immunity ruling, that's not entirely true, that's not entirely his agenda, that the Supreme Court's presidential immunity ruling compels tossing the jury's 34-count guilty verdict. And I'll show you, they'll reverse themselves. This is why that's BS. A 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled that it cannot be confident a lower judge. This is a huge insult. But they're saying that the judges were biased. The 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled that it cannot be confident a lower judge adequately considered Trump's arguments as he sought to move the case. This is why you don't just, when people say arrest them, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I get the sentiment. I want people arrested too. But you say arrest them. How come there's no arrests? How come no one's gone to court? Because you can go to court, and if you go to court in the wrong way, this is a Democrat about to appeal another Democrat because, quote, they cannot be confident a lower judge adequately considered Trump's arguments as he sought to move the case. You have to check every box to get one arrest. You have to do it perfectly, or you get nothing. This is what, arrest them. Guys, it is so hard to put a case together. Pam Bondi is so undermanned. We need more people. The court bypassed, this is the same quote, this is what the lower court did. The court bypassed what we consider to be important issues bearing on the ultimate issue of good cause, the panel wrote. So because they bypassed a few rules, they skipped a few steps because they were trying to get Trump, and the Democrat reversed another Democrat judge. The panel emphasized it has no view on whether Trump's strategy would ultimately succeed, only that the lower judge needs to reconsider his prior ruling. We leave it to be able to the experienced district judge to decide whether to solicit further briefing from parties, blah, 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 blah. The panel comprised U.S. Circuit Judge Raymond Lohier and U.S. Circuit Court Judge Susan Carney, both appointed by former President Barack Obama. Radical judges. The professor-in-chief and U.S. Circuit Judge Myrna Perez, appointed by former President Biden. So basically, communist-appointed judges, not overturned, but their view stayed. They're going to let Trump take this Alvin Bragg case. Trump was convicted last year of falsifying business records with Stormy Daniels, blah, blah, blah. President Trump continues to win in his fight against radical Democrat lawfare, a spokesperson for Trump's legal team said in a statement. I wanted to end this on a happy note, this show on a happy note for you guys. The Supreme Court's historic decision on immunity, the federal New York State Constitution, and other established legal precedent mandate that the witch hunt perpetrated by the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, be immediately overturned and dismissed. President Trump will keep defeating Democrat weaponization at every turn as he focuses on his singular mission to make America great again, the spokesperson added. The Hill requested comment from Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and they got nothing. Trump has long argued that he cannot get a fair shake in New York State Court. True. And has repeatedly attacked the judge and jury deciding the case. His attorneys tried to move the prosecution to federal court once before at the onset of the case and failed. Now back for a second attempt. Trump must show he has good cause. Like, how about the 3 judges were appointed by Biden and Obama, people that said they would get Trump? Good cause to raise the argument so late. He points to the fact that the Supreme Court's presidential immunity decision last summer didn't land until after his trial. The president does not claim to be immune from the 34 charges themselves, but he contends the jury saw. Now, this is why he really needs it overturned. They showed the jury tainted evidence that got pulled back and retracted. But he contends the jury saw protected evidence during the 7-week trial, including social media posts and testimony from White House aides, which was illegal. So we've got a little wiggle room on that. Again, I think Trump's in good water. I think Trump is continuing to fight on multiple fronts. I think America's in good hands. Do you know why? It's not just that I have confidence in you and me, the patriots. In the end, I'm even more confident in you and me than the Constitution. I don't need my government to give me my rights. I need you to acknowledge the patriot on your right and your left. And that's what it means to die for your country. It means dying for your neighbor, loving your neighbor as yourself is what our military does. And we're marching. And there's good news. The fight's not over. James Carville's so terrified of the lay of the land that the Democrats know they're not going to win anything unless they pack the Supreme Court. That's the biggest news you should know. They're not going to win anything because the courts, Justice Roberts, the weakest man in all of the Supreme Court, is the man keeping the bull out of the field full of children behind him. It's being held up by John Roberts. Good Lord. But that's why I encourage him. When you have a weak man from your city and there's an opening in the gate and the bull's going to get into a field full of children and gore them, and he's the town weakling holding up his hands, that's John Roberts. You don't tell him, I don't tell him, get out of there. You're a loser. You're nothing. You're a traitor. I've heard people call him a child abuser. I say, you can do it, John Roberts. You can hold the ground. You stand strong. I'm rooting for you. Because there's children in the field. And guys, the next generation is set. They're so much more secure than the people my age and up. The kids, they're skeptical of government. I know the radical lefty kids are all going for Mamdani. Got nothing for them. They're going to destroy themselves. They're going to emulate themselves. The conservative kids and the followers of Jesus Christ, the conservative, Christian, MAGA, hardcore people, they've got the right ideas. They know what the Constitution is. They're going into the military in record numbers still. Record numbers, guys. Country's in good hands. I believe in the future. It is not a waste of time to fight for your country. Chesterton said, in fact, it's not the patriot is the one who loves his country enough to criticize it, and you're the last man standing. And on that happy note, I got a full day of videos still to go. I'm Doug in exile. Thanks for joining me, guys. Subscribe.